Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video. This is a bit of a different video. Today we're going to talk about a question raised by a YouTuber, but I'm also going to show off the channel mascot. I'd like you to be introduced to Angel. Angel is the channel mascot for this YouTube channel, and he's very proud of the channel and doesn't like video much apparently. Yeah, just wanted to show off my cat here. He's very cute, so I'll let him go now because he's had enough. But yeah. Question raised by a guy on YouTube called Anthony. He asked me, what do I think of the new and older sets, and if I had a preference in terms of what I'd want to collect and what I would recommend collecting. It's a really good question actually, because a lot of people think about it when they get back into collecting. They're thinking, what do I want to focus on? Because you can do a bit of both, but normally you will have a preference about what you're actually aiming towards. I'm going to break it down into a few categories. I'm going to be talking about product availability. I'm going to talk about the higher value products and market trends. I'm going to talk about the recognition of product as a serious collectible, and I'm also going to talk about nostalgic value. Now to start with the product availability, that's where you have a huge difference between the new and the older product. The newer product is very clear cut. There's a lot of the product and it's not very high quality. There's a lot of product and it's very high quality. But what I mean by that is that there's too much product on the market because basically the prices are so low, the price point's so low. It's great for kids and anyone who plays the game because they can buy lots of product, but it's bad because, well, there's too much of the product in the market. On eBay there's stacks of listings, there's stacks of boosters, they're all really cheap. Basically what I'm getting at is you got so much supply and so much saturation in the new product. Compare that to the older product, it's quite harder. We've got a card here like Sabrina's Gengar First Edition Holo. Awesome card, very cool, but this doesn't grow on a tree. There's only so many of them out there. There's only so many of them out there that haven't been sold. I guarantee most of them would have been by now. And we have about a 17-year-old card here. I mean, how many people do you think at home just have in a nice folder on the side, like a beautiful mint one of these, and they like wake up one day like, oh my god, I forgot I was meant to sell that. I mean, there is people that do that, believe it or not, but what I'm getting at is there's only so much of this product. Compare that to like some of the cards from the recent sets, like Salgello here, heaps of these. You go on eBay and Google Salgello, like hundreds, like maybe any type card like this where it's a really cool rare holo. There's just so much of it. There's so much new product, and like when you talk about from a PSA level, like the amount of people like who submit the newer product is crazy. Like there is a lot of it going through. They're churning it through, and the older product there's also a lot too. But what I'm saying is there's more value, and in terms of having access to the older products, it's much harder. So that gives it a clear victory towards the older product, mainly because the supply is a lot lower. The next point I'm going to be talking about is the higher value products in the collectibles market and market trends. So it doesn't take much thought to realize that the highest value products in collectibles in Pokemon are all in the older products. It's the base sets, it's the cards like that, it's the PSA 10s, it's the first editions. They're the cards that have set the point about how much value a card can have. The newer cards just don't rise up to that level. You have cards there that are worth $50, $100, $200, but there's no card there that is worth like thousands just because there's so much of it. There's no significant card. And for me, as someone who wants to collect a rare card, and it's great if the card is valuable, but I'm not here just to make money. I just don't get too excited about the new products because I think there's too much of it, and people are probably holding on to too much of it. Because when you've got to realize when Pokemon started in the late 90s, people didn't realize that it was going to be this popular. If you had one of these cards, I mean, how many people would think to like store this in a mint, folder or sleeve, and like think, oh, in 20 years, or almost 20 years time, that's going to be worth heaps. It just doesn't happen. So basically what I'm saying is like the higher value products in the older, that's where the most growth has been. And the newer product, yes, we have some valuable cards. And don't get me wrong, I'm not berating the new product. I think it's absolutely awesome. You got your full arts, hyper rares, ultra rares, secret rares. Like they've done a fantastic job on the series. I'm just saying the new product is not extremely valuable, and the old product is where all the really nice value and difficult cards to get are. So when I'm talking about, when I start talking about these sets and what kind of cards I like, I love first editions to start with. I think first edition by itself, it only lasted for a few years and they got rid of the whole first edition idea. But base set, Jungle, Fossil, Team Rocket, Gym Challenge, Gym Heroes, though, it's quite underrated. And also like to talk about sets like, okay, I don't think they have first editions, but like Skyridge, that's a good one as well. If you got a chance to get cards from that set, I would really strongly consider that. And yeah, I think Neo Destiny, if I didn't mention that also, that's also a fantastic set that has first editions and the Shinings, which are absolutely amazing cards. And wow, the ships, they're quite expensive now. I went on a bit of a tangent there just because so many thoughts going on. But basically what I'm trying to say is between the old and new in terms of the high value, the old cards carries a lot more value, a lot more potential. And I guarantee, and I understand that is because those cards are a lot older, you know, and hard to get. But what I'm just trying to say is that there's a lot more like excitement around those cards. The next thing I want to talk about was the recognition of older product as a serious and recognized collectible. So if you haven't seen it already, Sports Market released a magazine with Charizard on it in July 2017. Really recognized magazine, Sports Market Report. And yeah, they basically did a whole series on Team Rocket and the different cards in here, and that really catapulted the value of that set right off. That by itself is a whole different issue, and you know, I talk about Team Rocket a lot, and I'm not going to do that now, but what I'm saying is the fact that this magazine, which holds cards in here, you know, like baseball and hockey cards worth, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, shows that there's a recognition of the collectibles market in Pokemon as being quite, you know, recognized now just by being in a magazine like this. And to bring that back to the new product, you know, you don't see your Burning Shadows in here, you don't see your Steam Siege, you don't see those newer products, mainly because they're just too new. They're not hard to get. They're only a few years old, if that. So yeah, that just gives a real clear-cut win to the older product again, in my opinion, just because, you know, it's getting recognized. And not to mention, I don't know, if you're on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, obviously you're on YouTube, but every now and then you'll see an article like, oh, you know, how much are your Pokemon cards worth? Like, every now and then there's a little bit of market interest about, or like social media interest about how much they're worth, but I still feel like it's just a massive niche market. I mean, people have no idea how much a Charizard is worth, but I think people understand that Charizard is actually a valuable card. The last thing I want to talk about is the nostalgia value, and just to wrap up, with the older products, you have a lot of nostalgia value because those cards, you know, people grew up with them. They just the recognized first, you know, set of that Pokemon generation. There's a lot of value in that, and that's not something you can put a number on, and it's not something people really talk about a lot. But I think it is worth mentioning. There's a fantastic nostalgia value with the older product, and I'm not saying the newer product doesn't have that. It does have some great value, but it does not have the same. You know, imagine when you were growing up as a kid, you know, you'd be eating your breakfast, watching Pokemon before you go to school. You know, just things like that, memories like that. I don't really feel like the same kind of, that level of attraction and is it with a newer product, in my opinion. What does that translate into? Well, it translates into more people wanting the older product. So you've got all these factors I've talked about, and you talk about people really love the nostalgic value of the older product. It's hard to get. It's very valuable. I mean, why would you not want to collect it now? I mean, I feel like very strongly that in the next, you know, 3 or 5 years, some of these cards we're talking about, and I've been showing on this through these videos, which I'll recap at the time, I feel like the price is going to be completely, you know, blown out of control. Like, I'm not talking about thousands and thousands. I'm just saying like double, like cards doubling in value because of the interest in the market. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say because it's happened before, and in fact, it's happened at even higher rates than double. So just an interesting thought. Obviously, that's speculative, so don't, you know, put all your savings into Pokemon cards. It is a very fun collection on the side though, and as I have found out while doing this YouTube channel, and I really like to release these videos and show you guys my collection as I get the cards. I think they're absolutely fantastic. They're so fun. Obviously, there's people collect all sorts of things, but I actually found the Pokemon cards are really quite cool. But yeah, just to summarize, the new versus old. So I'm definitely saying new is pretty cool. I collect new myself. I have a full plastic tub I got at Target, just full of different products. Just because, but the thing is I do keep them sealed. That's because I feel like that creates a bit more value. You know, opening with a product and just chucking it in a tub, that's not going to be worth anything. But the new product is definitely something I would collect as I do on the side. Why? Because it's pretty cool stuff. Like the actual stuff they're releasing is really cool. There's pins, there's figurines, there's some really cool cards you can get. But I would collect it on the side. You know, focus on like, oh, I want to get this series. There was a person today on one of my videos who commented, you know, they're really interested in the PSA 9s in like the commons and the unhollows. That's so fantastic because they're focused on a set. They're focused on a set and they've got a goal in the older product and they're going to work towards that. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is just to sum it all up, the older product, it's really hard to get. It's a lot of the cards are very expensive now. There's a lot of potential because, the supply and demand, not much supply, growing demand. It's a clear-cut winner. I would go for older product. If to answer your question, Anthony, I think I think it's just the way to go. I think it's got the most potential, and I would go for it. Hone in on a couple of sets you really like, and try and fill out all the holos to start with, or go for the non-holos. It's up to you. But yeah, I think it's just got the most potential, and I hope that kind of addresses your question. And yeah, I've really enjoyed presenting this in the video. But yeah, I don't think you can go too wrong with the new stuff. But if you were really wanting to get into Pokemon collecting, I would be aiming for the older product, because I feel like, to sum it all up, you're not in a rush to get the new product. You've got the older product that you should really be trying to get as fast as you can without going stupid. But if you don't get that newer product, that Burning Shadows holo card, it's not going to go anywhere, and there's going to be so many of them. If you buy it in a year's time, it might be a few bucks more, but it's not going to be like 5 times more or something. So there's your answer. Go for the older product, but also get the newer product on the side if you kind of like what's coming out. Thanks again for tuning in. Thank you also for welcoming my channel mascot. He's run off to have some dinner now, but he did have his first appearance, Angel. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Hope everyone has a great day, and catch you next time. Cheers.